What is going on, guys? We are back. Now today we're going to be starting a brand new series on the FTOG Avant 3 server. Now a lot of you guys have been requesting that I play a mod pack for some time now, and a lot of you guys have actually requested that I play the Avant 3 mod pack, and so that's what we're going to be doing. But we actually get to join a bunch of great guys on the FTOG server. They will all be linked in the description, and if you check them out, I'm sure you'll recognize a lot of them. They're a bunch of great guys and they're really good at modded Minecraft, so I'm super excited to be playing with them on here. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and I think you guys will really enjoy it. Now, I have not played on a mod pack for a very long time, so it's actually a little bit overwhelming jumping back into this, because as I'm sure you guys know, when we're in our Surviving With world, we maybe have, 16 to 25 pages. Well, now we got a lot of stuff to mess around with. So we're going to be jumping into some stuff today. That should be pretty fun, but one thing I want to say before we do that is everything, including the mod pack and how to get it, will be in the description along with the channels if you do want to, do anything in the same world that we're playing in, or if you want to play along on the same mod pack. But now that that's out of the way, we do kind of have to get started. One nice thing is that you'll notice it just changed to daytime pretty much right when it became nighttime. I really don't have to worry about it being nighttime on here or having anything to do with weather, because there's pretty much a whole area that was created that'll help keep it daytime and prevent any rain. So maybe a couple seconds after it becomes night, it turns day again, and a couple seconds after it starts raining, it stops. So it's pretty nice, but that also means a lot of the guys in the server have already gotten a head start because we're getting into this season a little bit late. But all that means is that we just kind of got to kick it up a notch and do a fair bit of work. So I've done a little bit of resource gathering, and I'm sure you guys can already tell what we're going to be jumping into by seeing all the clay, sand, and gravel in here. And that is because we're going to be doing the Tinker's Smeltery. Now the main reason we're doing this is specifically because of where we are living right now. We're in a coniferous forest, and I actually really like the colors. It might seem a little dull to some of you, but I'm really excited to build here. I have some pretty great ideas, but we've got some very big trees that need to be cleared down, and so I am looking to get I think it's the lumbering axe to be able to chop down all these trees at once, especially these 2x2 trees. So that's what we're going for. We're not going to be doing any super special materials today for the tools, so I don't plan on making them super great. Eventually we'll get better tools, but hopefully that will help us get started. And then hopefully we get into some Ender IO, because we all know that Ender IO conduits are pretty much the best thing that was ever created in modded Minecraft. So I got to grab out all of this stuff right here. I don't think we have an even amount of all of it for the crafting, but I've got some lava that we can use too, and then a good amount of iron. So we do need to craft some grout. Where is it in here? Right here. So we got some grout here. We can just craft it this way because I don't have the clay on me, and I don't know why I actually grabbed it out of there. I forgot that we have the crafting station that we can use now. So I'll craft, I think that should be enough to throw in here for now, and we'll just start letting it cook down. And I gotta grab some of my cooked fish out of there and probably put a little bit more coal in. Just so that we can allow this to go. Now I probably should have started cooking some of this off camera, just because it is going to take a little bit for it to cook down, but I guess while that is going on, I can kind of talk to you guys about some stuff. So you guys may or may not know that I recently returned to college for my sophomore year, and things actually haven't been that busy recently. I think I'll be able to keep up with recording, but I was getting settled in, and that's why the videos had not come out for a couple days. So I just wanted to give you guys a little bit heads up on that. The audio might be a little bit worse. Hopefully you can't really hear stuff in the background, but my window actually pretty much does not close right now if I want to have a fan in there. So it's kind of hard to get it in and out. So it might be a little weird if you hear any noises that sound kind of like cars. I'll try and make sure those don't actually happen in the video, and that the audio quality stays very high up, but there's only so much I can do. So I apologize if you can hear that, but yeah, hopefully it isn't too bad. So along with all of this stuff, I did gather a fair bit of copper and tin, because I believe we're going to be making some pieces out of bronze, and then we've got, of course, the gold in here that we're going to need so that we can make the actual molds for everything. So along with that, we can get started on some of the things that we are going to need. So if we go to Tinker's, we do need to make the stencil table and the part builder so that we can actually start making some of the other stuff. So I think I'll grab out, we should have enough wood in here by far. So we'll get the stencil table, which requires some blank patterns, which requires that we get, let's get some of that in there, and then we'll get a couple sticks. We don't really need that many blank patterns because we're not making a ton of stuff today, but we'll make 8. I think that should be enough for us. We really don't need a super fancy setup, so grab out our stencil table, and we can all throw this down over here. There's really nowhere special that I want to put it over here because we're kind of going to be moving things around as we build more, but we can just throw it down over here, and we can throw the patterns in there, and then we got to come over and make the, I don't even know if we're going to be able to find it. Where is it? I don't feel like searching up part builder. Here we go. Part builder. And we need to grab one more blank pattern out of here. It has been so long since I've done really any of this that I apologize if it's a little bit slow. But yeah, I've been stuck in the surviving with mode for a very, very long time. Okay, so we should be good on all of this. I do have some reeds so that we can make the paper bindings. And these are coming along in here. We don't need to make the biggest smeltery right now, but it would be kind of nice to have a decent size one. One more thing that I want to make is going to be the Redstone Clock. Now, this has had an updated texture since the last time that I used it. It actually looks a lot nicer here, but the main reason that I want to make this is because you can put it if you're ever draining a bunch of stuff for ingots, and it'll just keep ticking. There's a ton of different ways that you could do this if you really wanted to, but we're going to use this one just because I'm familiar with it, and why not? So I do need to cook down some stone really quick. So I'm going to grab all of this out of here, and we're going to cook down 4 stone. And that should be no problem. And we're at 36 seared bricks, so we'll let this one keep going over here. And once we get the stone, we should be good. Now that we've got the part builder, we're kind of stuck in terms of building more because we do need the tool. I believe we want to use, you don't want to use the tool station for what we're doing today because we're looking to get the lumber's axe or lumbering axe, and you can't actually make that in the tool station. So this is okay to start out if you're really just looking for like a pick or something, but that's not what we're looking for. So I need to process my iron before I can actually do this, and I guess we do need to make a tool station first, but we should be good on the stone now. We can throw the grout back in there and the rest of this in there, and we can come in here and finish building this. So got the 4 in the corner, 4 in there, and then redstone. And we could make a lever for this if we really wanted to flip it off in case we don't want everything being pulled out. And I guess we can start making stuff for this. So if we go to the smeltery, we're going to be making the seared bricks. So we can craft a fair bit of these and start laying this out over here. You might also notice that I have a diamond hoe in my inventory. That is because when I was first getting a tour of the server, I was given a diamond hoe. That was kind of my gift. I'm sure it'll get a ton of use, maybe, hopefully. But yeah, so thank you for the diamond hoe. That was very generous. Do I want to put it, maybe we'll put it right here. This seems like a fine place to put it. I don't even have a shovel right now. I was using it and it broke. So, yeah. I'm kind of poor right now. And we're actually going to break one of these and put the controller in the front. And we're going to replace a lot of these because we got to make the areas for the drain, the controller, the tank. So we got to do all of that once we get a couple more seared bricks. So I guess the first one that we can deal with, and we probably are going to have to cook down some glass. I wasn't even thinking that we're going to need some glass for actually making the tank. Where is it? The tank, so we need 1 piece of glass for that, which is good because I actually only have 2 sand right now. So we'll replace that. We'll grab all of this out, and then we'll have the tank. The controller is just going to take another 8. So we have enough for both of those right now, and then we just need to make the drain and what it's actually going to run out of, so we don't need any more of that. Get the grout back in there, and we can start making these. So we got our controller. We'll have our tank right here. And we got over here, we got our lava to use in there. And then we got to make the drain for it. So there's for pouring it for the faucet. Oh, where's the drain over here? Smeltery drain. So we should have enough soon. Oh man, I really hate these furnaces just because they're so slow compared to every other furnace that you can get once you actually start having ores and stuff. And a lot of the guys on the server were super great, and they told me, you know, if I ever needed anything, that I could just feel free to let them know, and they would gladly help me out with that. But I am doing my best to do this on my own. So we'll throw the controller there, break this, and throw down the tank next to it. And it's already formed, but we only have 4 spots in there. That's a little weak, but for now, it'll be okay. And then over here, we'll put in the first smeltery drain with our faucet. Attach that, and we'll have to make both of those down here. We'll make another drain eventually, just so that we have one for making blocks and stuff, because it's a little bit easier. But we need our casting table, and we should have enough in here for that. And then we can start making the tools, get the molds done, and all that good stuff. So we're going to put down the redstone clock right above the drain, so we should be able to click it up there. And what that'll do, if you don't already know, is pretty much once this stuff all melts down in here, instead of having to actually right click and pull the stuff out, it'll just keep it flowing. So if you were to put a hopper attached to a chest under here, you could fully automate it. But unfortunately I haven't processed my iron yet, so we're not going to be doing that. But what we can do is we can throw down the tank, and we can start pulling stuff over from it. So I'm just going to throw it down over here until we actually automate it and just manually move stuff over, because I'm going to be taking a lot of trips with this. But we can put it right in there. We can fill this up, and the first thing that we're going to want to process will be gold. And the reason for that is because we're going to be making permanent molds instead of making the clay molds. So we'll get those in there and allow that to start processing them. I always love this when you can see like the blocks in there and then you see them actually get melted. Love that, and I really hated not having this in my Surviving With series, just because the tools are so just amazing. But yeah, we lived without it for a little bit, but now it'll be nice having it. So we can grab out the rest of these seared bricks, and we'll just use the rest of them to continue expanding upon it, make it a little bit bigger. But now what we need to worry about is actually making the tools. So we need to get the crafting station, and we need one more blank pattern over here to make the tool station. And of course we're not going to be using the tool station, but we're eventually going to use that to craft the next one, the tool forge. So we'll just keep this here for now, and we have the stone to start making the parts. So we got to get the stencils. So for the axe, we're going to need the axe head for this one, the broad axe head. I'm trying to remember these. We need the plate, so that should be this one right here, the large plate pattern. We need the, where is it? Is it the tough binding that we need? I think we need this one. I think we need the tough binding, and I think we need the tough tool rod. We might not need the tough tool rod. It might be the regular tool rod. I actually can't remember right now. Let me see if we can actually see if these tell us what we need. No, these really don't tell us what we need. Control. Oh, yeah, so we need tough binding, large plate, axe head, and is that it? It doesn't list anything else, but I feel like we definitely need a tough tool rod for this, because we need the tough binding. So yeah, we have all the parts that we're going to need now. So we come over here, throw them in, and just start making them out of stone. So we got our large plate there. We'll get our axe head there. And, oh, whoops. We're going to be making this out of paper, actually. So I should make some of that paper now, and we can actually finalize the part for it, just so that we get the writable portion of it. And chances are I'm just going to throw some, like, moss on here. Oh, man, we need more. Darn it. It takes 4 for these. I forgot. Nope. There we go. But we're going to be putting balls of moss on this just to keep it repaired, because I don't plan on using it a ton. What? Can we not make this one? I thought we could. Huh. Let me see. Paper tough binding. I always hate this because it really doesn't tell you what you need for it. But maybe we won't go with the paper tough binding if this one's just going to be a hassle to make. Let me try turning all of this into paper and see if that's what the issue is. Nope. There we go. Make that. And it doesn't want to spread out evenly. There we go. Okay, got all that paper in there. Let's see. There we go. Okay. Oh, it takes a fair bit of paper for that. Okay. Well, we got that now, and that's completed. And then the last thing is just going to be the tough tool rod. And hopefully our gold is melted down for the most part. We can throw some more gold in there while we work. And no, this is the downside of this. No, I forgot to turn it off. Oh my gosh. See, now we've just got, now we've got blank casts. That is not what we want. I forgot to flip that off because it had the redstone going. What can we even use blank casts for? Can we just melt them back down? I feel like that's it consumes the cast. Oh, maybe we can, let's see. Let's try putting down the stone tool rod. I've never done this before. Can we, like, click this back on there? No, we can't. Darn. Okay, so we'll have to start making this from scratch. Screwed up a little bit. Can these get melted back down? Item cannot be molten. Okay, well, we screwed that up a little bit. I don't even know what you use these for. Apparently, you're supposed to be able to use them for something, but we've got enough gold in there now, hopefully, that we can start going on this. So we'll allow it to pour out. That was a little bit of my bad. I should have seen that coming. But there we go. So we got the cast for that. I'll be sure to flip it off. And there we go. So we got the tough tool rod. I'm going to empty our inventory a little bit. I'll throw this shameful blank cast in there. And we can throw some of this junk over in here, some of these patterns, until we get the stencils. And if we've got more grout in here, we can actually grab this out and expand a little bit. So get it in there, expand this. This should be enough to add another layer, or no, multiple layers on here, so we can actually start processing more stuff, which will be great because we need to process the iron soon. So 2 more layers on there. That'll put us up to 12. Nice. So we got our molten gold in there, and next we're going to process the tin and copper once this is done. So I'll start throwing that in there. I'm always nervous about stuff mixing. No, we want to get half of this as copper and half of it as tin. The next thing that we need to process, though, is going to be the axe head. So that can go in there. Flip that on. And then the last piece after that will be the large plate. Okay, so flip that off. And get our large plate. And we should have enough for that. Yeah, we got more than enough gold for that. So there we go. Now we got all of these. And once this makes our copper... Okay, so is it... Where is it? Is the bronze being created? Yes, it is. That is great. Okay, so the bronze is being created right now. This is what we're going to be using for the axe head. And we can put that right there. And flip that out and start processing it. It's going to take a fair bit, so we might actually need to make some more of it. Actually, we got a lot. We're making a lot of it. Okay. It's going to take a fair bit to fill that up. And then we can just use... we can use iron for the rest if we really want to. We could use bronze for that too, depending on how much we have. If we want to save iron, which is what I might do because it's better than iron. It's at 90. Okay, so there we go. So we got that completed. Get that out of there. Then we'll do our tough tool rod. How much bronze? We can process the rest of this and just do bronze for that then. And save the iron because we're going to need 4 blocks of iron to make the actual tool forge. And then we're going to be using a fair bit of iron for the Ender IO stuff. So now that we got the molten bronze there, we can start processing this. And I actually should go grab the rest of our iron. Oh, it's already in my inventory. I was going to say we should put the rest of the iron in here. Again, worried that it's going to mix with some stuff, but I don't think it'll be that much of an issue. So this is done. And the last one that we need is the large plate. So we can start processing that. How much bronze do we have? We got 8 ingots of it. Nice. Okay, and then we can finish processing the iron. And eventually then we'll just make the rest of them into ingots with the automated setup using whatever iron we have to make the hopper, throw that into a chest, and then we can either do blocks or ingots. It really doesn't matter. Blocks are nice if you don't have the fully automated setup and you don't have it going into a chest, but so we can flip this off, get our large plate out of there, and then really all that's left is just the iron being processed. So where is our... Oh, no iron's actually finished yet. Wow. This is just slowly being created. There we go. So we got some molten iron in there. We'll continue putting that in there. And now all that we have to do is... I guess an easy way to do this is just take a seared brick. We should be able to use a seared brick for this. Let's get our gold down at the bottom. And throw that on there. And get a mold for an ingot. And then we should be able to start processing the iron through here. Or we could process it into a block. No, we don't want... Well, it's actually just going to make a gold ingot, so that's really irrelevant. But we got that. And now we need to start processing our iron. But we're actually going to make... Let's make for this the blocks right away using the casting basin. And do we have any more? Yes. So can we make a second drain here and a faucet? We're running out of inventory space real quick. I'm going to dump some of this stuff back in here. I'll dump the iron back in there for now. Some of the gold, some of the clay. So we're going to do a second drain over here. So we got to put this down. And I forget if breaking this makes you lose all the stuff in it. I feel like it doesn't. So let's break that. There. There. Yeah, okay, good. So we don't lose all the stuff in here. So we've got 3 blocks in there. It's getting close to what we need. but we're actually going to manually click that out in a little bit just because we don't have our redstone thing over there, but we need to start processing the rest of this iron in there because we almost have 4 blocks. So we'll allow this to go. We'll get our first block over here, and I actually like the animation now. I don't remember it having this animation before where you see it slowly finishes, but right now it's at like 50%. It actually takes a fair bit of time to finish processing. So we might, I want to say we could do both at the same time, but that's actually not the best idea. So let's get that out. Let's get that going again. And we're actually using like no lava. I recall it using a lot more lava, but maybe all these updates. It's so hard to get with the new updates. I gotta get with the times, guys. So that'll finish. I should have just made a second casting basin for over here to make it faster. We could totally do that. We'll replace the casting table with the casting basin over here too. And we'll process the second blocks at the same time. So we'll get that one going, and we'll get that one going, and they should have enough iron yet because it just finished processing. We'll get the rest of our iron in there too again, and then once these finish, we will be able to make the tool forge. So let's get the tool forge open, and then we'll finally get to make our tool. It's a lot of work to start because you got to do all this stuff, but what do we need up here? We can use cobblestone for this. Okay, so that'll be fine. You can really use like any stone for that, and ours will look super bland compared to these sweet ones, but it's a little bit cheaper. So that one's good to go, that one's good to go, and now we got our 4 blocks. Come back over here, throw them in here along with the cobblestone. No, that one doesn't want to work. Okay, where's this? Tool forge, blocks of iron. Do we need stone? We might need, we can use seared bricks if we really want to, right? Yeah, there we go. Okay, so we'll throw this down over here for the building. And we got the tool forge, which is going to be used to make the axe, which is right here, the lumber axe, which is a broad chopping tool that can fell an entire tree in one swoop or gather wood at a wide range. So we're going to be putting this in here, that in there. Where's our axe head there, and our large bronze plate there. And do we want to name this worst tool ever? There we go. It's the worst tool ever. Great. We're not going to be using this for very long, but it's writable, so if we did want to add stuff to this, we could. So oh my gosh, so let's throw that in there. And if we wanted to add stuff to it, we want to add the ball of moss to it. Pretty much that's what we're looking for right now, just that it repairs itself after we use it. And we can add a couple on there. We should be able to get a few. We really don't need anything else. We don't need it sped up or anything like that. So to make the ball of moss, if you guys don't know the tricks using chisel, because you can chisel the mossy cobblestone, so we do need to make a chisel, which means we need to come over here, and I'm going to replace this one now so we can start making ingots again. Throw down the casting table, get out our ingot cast, get that down in there, and iron should be at the bottom. Yeah, we got a fair bit of iron down there. I'll allow this to process. We only need one along with a stick, so we'll get that. And got a stick in our inventory, make the chisel, and we can chisel. Can we chisel mossy with this? We can chisel our, no, so we need to make stone. We need some stone for this, because we gotta get the ball of moss, and then we gotta chisel the mossy stone brick, which comes from chiseling. Can we chisel this? Yeah, this has to be stone to be chiseled like this. So we need a fair bit of that. We should put some cobble in here too, just to kind of speed up the process. But pretty happy with the progress that we will have made today. The nice thing, if we wanted to grab out this axe and show you right now, if you don't already know, is we'll start chopping this down right here. And you can notice, boom, there goes the whole tree. And the leaves deteriorate too. It's kind of annoying that I got to chop down all these trees. But now all the leaves should start coming down, and we should be able to get all of the wood. So we'll never run out of wood. That will not be an issue. So we got that, and this will help me collect stuff to actually start building the house and clear out space for it. So there's an easy, pretty much 2 stacks of wood. Pretty darn great early on, and it does use up a fair bit of durability, but if we're not chopping down a ton of trees all at once, we should be able to easily just throw on a ball of moss on there, and we would be good to go. So let's get out our chisel. Let's turn these into the mossy stone. Let's turn these into the ball of moss. And we can get going over here. So there we go. Okay guys, so I actually had to hop off camera to see if I was just being crazy, but turns out I was not putting this into the wrong spot. This is where the upgrades are supposed to go, or the modifiers, and for some reason the ball of moss cannot go on here, which I find a little bit odd because this should be able to go on there and make things repair, but that is not actually the case anymore, at least for what we're using right now for this tool, because we can put the redstone in here and increase its speed a little bit, but that's not really what I was hoping for, just because I didn't feel like repairing this on its own. But that's no issue. If I really do need to repair this, all I have to do is come over here, get some bronze out of here as an ingot, and then I can easily repair it the same way over here, which I already did once just to see how much it worked, and it only used 1 ingot to repair it fully, so it should be no issue. But a little disappointing about the ball of moss. Maybe I'm doing something wrong, but you know what, I'm happy with what we got today, so I think that's what we're gonna call it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please feel free to give it a like, as it does help me out a lot, and feel free to let me know if you're excited for this series. I'm super excited to keep going on this one, and I'm really excited to hopefully get some collab videos with the other guys in the server. I think it'll be a lot of fun in general, so I guess I will see you guys later.